Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video. Now, PvP has been out for one day, having a bunch of fun with it for sure. I've been enjoying PvP a lot, but let's talk a little bit about the meta in PvP to give you guys an idea why certain characters might be stronger than you think in PvP, and why some characters can be really strong in PvE but they are like weak in PvP, for example King. So hopefully in this video we can talk about the meta and what you need to know about in PvP in general. Now, if you guys are not aware, PvP is balanced. So the PvP is balanced and it's open for me from 12 noon to 12 midnight, so 12 hours, and you can only play during that time. So basically Apex League is the PvP we're talking about. You can see Wanderers will have similar level of base stats, weapon stats, relic stats, and related advancement enhancement stats to ensure fair play. Now this is where it gets really tricky. Alright, we're going to talk about the most important thing, which is this thing right here. If you guys are not aware, PvP is basically 2-point system. Whoever reaches 2 points first will win. Now notice each battle will have a 5-minute countdown, and whoever obtains 2 points within the first 5 minutes will win. So this has led to a lot of players going with this meta where they don't engage, they win one, get 1 point, and then just keep running away and use healers. So that's something that you're going to see a lot. It's like a strategy in PvP, and it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is, right? That's the name of the game, which makes characters, some healers like Cocorita, going to be really strong because she's able to sustain your character until the time runs out. So instead of like trying to burst down or do damage to the character, you know, you play the chicken strat. Chicken strat is basically you hit, run. Some characters are going to be better in PvP than PvE for sure, right? So even then, the battlefield does shrink every 75 seconds, so staying outside the battle area for too long will trigger a debuff that continuously reduces HP. Now in terms of PvP tier list, of course, this is going to be much more of a representation of a character and how annoying they are as an individual character rather than in a team. So make sure you guys take it with a grain of salt. Some characters might work better in a team. PvP is a totally different ball game. Your character can try to run away, dodge, whereas in PvE, shield breaker is a must, and therefore characters like King earns a spot right there in PvE. Now like I mentioned, PvP, you know, it's better to have ranged characters. You hit and then you run away. Characters like Crow and King are at a huge disadvantage because they don't have the ability to chase as much. And chasing enemies is going to be very tiring in PvP. You can only dash 3 times, it's not like you have unlimited dash. And also stuff like, let's say CC, stun, freeze, those things are going to be way more annoying compared to whatever that King and Crow can provide. Now let's talk about Crow. Hopefully you guys understand like what do I mean by team synergy or individual character tier list rankings, right? So Crow is really good. He gets bonus attack. If you guys are not aware, Crow has an ability that will do insane amount of damage when he targets an enemy from the back. This skill is really cool. You can see if you target from behind, increase crit rate, attacks by 40%, right? That's a lot. Increase your crit rate 100%, crit damage by 30%. That means he will deal increased damage. So he can be strong in PvP for sure, but he needs somebody to make the enemies not move, because like you're playing PvP, you can't expect the enemy to not move, right? The enemy is going to want to dodge, and it's hard for you to be able to, you know, stay behind an enemy. So ideally you want to be able to stun, you want to be able to freeze the enemy. So I think Crow has a spot, like he's not completely useless, but on his own, because he doesn't have the ability to stun or CC the enemy, so therefore he's at the very low tier. So you need to understand that this is much more of how a character performs individually rather than in a team. So character like King and Crow, I think they are very dependent on their teammate, so therefore they are here at very low rank. Now Samir and Shiro, same applies for them. They have the range for sure, right? But the abilities that they lack is they don't really do much shield breaking and they don't heal. So that's where PvP, you know, ideally, like I mentioned, you want to be able to stun, you want to be able to freeze, some sort of CC to be able to make the enemies not move, or you want to perma-stun the enemy, right? There's a lot of toxic threats out there where you just use Meryl to be able to perma-stun the enemy, and that makes those strategy extremely annoying. Now, I'm a big Shiro fan. I've been using Shiro since day one. Alright, she's my first SSR. I actually like her. I think she shines more in PvE, mainly because if you notice her main skill is much more to do a lot of damage in an area. Alright, so therefore she can do insane amount of damage. Like she shines more when there's group of enemies inside that particular area, and the amount of damage that she does might be way higher than anyone in this list. But the issue is in PvP, we're talking about a single target enemy, right? So that enemy can also move around and run away. Like I mentioned, Shiro doesn't have any like stun on her own, so she has to rely on someone else to be able to freeze or stun the enemy to make them not move and stay in that area. So it's a little bit much more finicky to use, plus her range, you know, is a little bit lacking compared to a few other characters. Now Subasa, I don't really agree that she is A tier. I do think that she should be above because Subasa actually has this ability right here, discharge. Alright, so Subasa has one of the best discharge in the game. So this ability removes all debuffs from the wielder, creates hailstorm upon switching to this weapon, dealing damage equal to 570% of attack, and a few other things. So Subasa's discharge or ultimate skill rather is actually quite strong. So I do think that Subasa is as good as Zero. Now let's talk about Zero. Now Zero is a little bit lacking in PvE, right? But in PvP suddenly, why is he so strong? Now again, same issue. Nobody recommends Zero because he needs dupes. But in PvP suddenly everybody have maxed out and they don't really need the dupes. So Zero's ability suddenly becomes really useful. He has the ability to hit enemies from far away, similar to a Samir. He has ability to heal a little bit as well. And he's just a great support overall to have. Now, let's talk about the top tier of the PvP right now. And that includes Nemesis, Meryl, Huma, and Cocorita. Now, if you go to your rankings right now, look at your top PvP rankers, I can assure you, these are the 4 characters they will have in their team. So number 1, 58% win rate. Let's have a look at this guy. So he has Huma, alright. And then we have Meryl with Cocorita. Alright, very strong. So let's look at rank number 2. Huma, Cocorita, and Meryl. Are you guys seeing the pattern here? Right? And this one, number 3, we have Meryl, Huma, and a little bit of difference. This time it's Samir. So, like hopefully you guys get an idea. Alright, so what makes these characters so strong, extremely annoying in PvP? So like I mentioned earlier, in PvP, any stuns, any hit stuns, any freeze, anything heal is going to be really strong. So you want to be able to sustain yourself, you know, chicken out the enemy and try to outlast your opponent rather than beating them out with a bunch of damage. Like I feel like damage is, the meta right now doesn't revolve around damage at least, right? So Cocorita is going to be the best one because she's the best healer in the game by far. Alright, so having her in your team, that means you secure one part of the healing. So if you have Coco, enemy doesn't have, you will be able to out heal your enemy. You don't have to worry about, you know, them doing more damage than you, etc. So I do think that having her alone is just going to be very efficient. Now both Huma and Meryl, we know why they are annoying. They are both very tanky units, alright? And Meryl is just insanely annoying to fight against. She has the spinning skill which you can't do anything, immune to CC, she's immune to almost anything, if I'm not mistaken, during that state. And she also has the ability to freeze you. So Huma has the ability to stun every time she does some sort of skill. Nemesis can hit you from very far away. Also, she's able to heal. Nemesis has the ability to also electrocute you. Very annoying. I fought Nemesis a couple of times. Like, you just can't do anything. You try to run away, but unless you can dodge the skill, and it's quite hard to do that because I noticed there's a bit of ping or delay in PvP for the time being. So yeah guys, so that is going to be the PvP tier list. Keep in mind, this is going to be focusing on PvP, and in PvP you just need one copy of the character. You don't really need dupes, you don't need any additional materials, but the relics, do take note that you need to upgrade your relics because that's where the difference may also determine who wins the battle. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, take all of this with a grain of salt. This is going to be a PvP tier list, but some characters, like I mentioned, may or may not work better in a team, but you would most likely see these top 4 for sure. It's going to be something that you will see a lot in all the PvP meta, regardless of what server you're on. So I'm going to give you guys the link in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. As always, subscribe, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.